All right. Hey friends, it is Taylor Takeover Tuesday coming back at you. I know you've missed my beautiful face. Sadly, Haley and I are not in person yet. Cough, cough. But this is our first time talking since our Disney College program has ended. I'm just kidding. But we are here today to chat with you, and I'm so excited. Haley, what the heck are we doing?
We're gonna rank our favorite Disney resorts, more so just give our feedback, little thoughts, our least favorites. You saw us do many staycations throughout our college program. Taylor has stayed at every Disney resort, minus like Swan and Dolphin, like Bonnet Creek and stuff like that, but those aren't like the Disney ones. So you stayed at all the official Disney ones. I'm missing four. I have not stayed at, I'm gonna look at my list. Beach Club, Old Key West, Boardwalk, and Wilderness Lodge. But I visited those resorts, so I generally know what they look like, but they're not going to be a part of my personal rankings. I do want to throw out a few little disclaimers. Again, we do not speak for the brand or the company. These are just based off of our personal experiences and what we like about the resorts. Now, one thing to note is Disney resorts each of them are so very different, and it truly depends on what you want out of a resort, and why you're there. If you're going to the parks just to do the parks, then value resorts are incredible. If you're going to relax a little bit, then the deluxe ones are just insane, like fantastic. So this kind of ranking is just based on our personal experiences, maybe some of our memories, or just the design of them that we personally like, but we're not necessarily saying, oh, you shouldn't stay here or you should absolutely stay here. It's just based on experiences we've had and just what we've enjoyed about our staycations and our visits to the parks. But just again, we're not saying don't stay at these resorts because they're all so unique and so fun. And I love being on property. I'm sure Taylor, you could say the same. They're just being on property is just another level of an experience.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane. I do also want to give a little shout out to the people that work at the resorts. The cleanliness level of all of these places is absolutely top of the line, like insane, top tier, whatever, like 5 stars beyond. Like, I just want to give a little shout out to them because I have never had like a horrible resort experience. Like being on property, I would do it every time if I could, and that for good reason. They do great. I think that's all the little notes that I have
Yeah.
before we get started, but we do have a special little announcement at the end, so be sure to watch this whole thing.
What is it? What is it?
Well, they've kind of, I wonder, people probably know, but we'll leave it for the fun. I'm gonna go down. We have our little lists and things. Best theming overall.
Best theming overall. Okay, I think you
Well,
should start.
what I should start? Oh God.
You do.
So
I took one.
you're gonna
Okay.
find your list. So I guess I do want to say, I've mentioned on the channel before, I would like to do Imagineering. So I'm not gonna, I don't hate any of the resort theming. The theming is stunning. That's what makes it Disney. That's what makes it on property. That's what makes it magical. So I don't have a specific resort listed for this, only because I feel like it's wrong to choose. It feels wrong, like, because it's like the mood and the style. Like I said, whatever you're going for. If you're going to relax, like the cabins, the Polynesian, but like over art of animation for a value, like that is so much fun. Like it has kind of like that, like the values have like the '90s vibe to them. So theming is just what Disney does best. So
Yeah.
I don't think any of those resorts missed the mark on that. I think some of them are more themed than others or do have less of an aesthetic, but they're still the Disney quality. So for me, it's just a more comparison. If I had to do like, those little TikTok things where it's like the charts and you have to like pick one.
Yeah.
Like I'd have to do one of
We
those.
should do that for a resort one. That'd be so fun.
There are a
Anyway.
few of those. That'd be fun to do. Also, leave a comment if you want us to do these, or if you have any ideas of what you want us to talk about. These are like little podcast type things, so hopefully you enjoy them. Anyway, Taylor, what do you think? Best theming.
Yeah. So unfortunately, that's not where my mind went. However, I will say no, I just mean like you said, like what Disney does really well is theming. And so like wherever I stayed, like I truly felt like I was in wherever I was, whether like art of animation you're saying, like I really felt like I was in Radiator Springs, like whatever, like no resort failed in that area. I do think some did better than others. So I will give an honorable mention to Wilderness Lodge because I genuinely felt like I was out in the woods. Um, not in Orlando, so I will give them that, but it still had the Disney feel to it. But, and this is not biased at all because I am from Louisiana, but I truly think that Port Orleans French Quarter has the best theming overall. And here are my points. I did do it all on my phone. So, okay. It felt like it was a cleaner New Orleans. I've been to actual New Orleans, and this is just a cleaner New Orleans, just trust me. It was like a giant Mardi Gras party. The pool is fun. It's cute, and it looks like a Mardi Gras float. Beignets, they're not as good as the ones here, but they do have beignets. They have boat rides, and you can take them, like you can take it along. They have like the Sassagoula River, like that's the whole theming behind it. And so you could take the boat rides, and like here in Louisiana, you can take boat rides on the Mississippi River. They give Mardi Gras beads to guests when you arrive. Like if they gave Mardi Gras beads to guests when they arrive, that would be super cute. But I know they have like the balloons that they hand out. I enjoyed being there. And like again, like just the whole idea is that your work, like you are at a float company on the Sassagoula River. So I like the idea of it. Like Mardi Gras is such a huge part of Louisiana culture down here, so like they really emphasize that. Then there's like horse-drawn carriages around. The food options are loyal to Louisiana. They're not the best Louisiana food you could ever have, but like they have like jambalaya, gumbo, like beignets, all this fun stuff that they have. And so yes, that is why I'm advocating for that. So I just think, and it's cool because it's a moderate resort, so like they just do it really really well. And so French Quarter is my best theming.
Oh gosh. Well, I'm
And I
definitely
promise I'm not biased. Like I genuinely was this, like it really it felt good.
that one comes up a little bit later in my list, so
Oh
that's
god.
maybe good. That's maybe a good sign here. But no, definitely touch on like you said the cabins, and I talk about this later too. But I did not feel like I was at Disney, and not feel. I mean, Disney quality, absolutely, but like I forgot I was in Florida for like a hot minute. I was like, we're just in the woods, like we're just living our life. Is so fun. So that one theme. I mean, if you even call that theming, I don't know, but they were really able to like
I mean,
set
yeah.
you off that like you felt you were like away for a bit, and it was different. I like
Yeah.
that.
It was,
Um, so kind of transitioning, this is kind of goes with the theming. This one's kind of funny, but we mentioned it so many times in the staycations is best bathroom overall.
yeah.
If you want to start off with this.
Sure. Okay. My honorable mention, which you unfortunately did not have to stay at with me, was Old Key West. I booked it not realizing how big it was going to be. So I did have like a 1 bedroom villa, so the bathroom was huge. Like there was not a hot tub, but like a jacuzzi, two sinks, a toilet, and a shower. So it was huge, and so that is my honorable mention. But best bathroom, and I feel like we're gonna have the same answer, would have to be the Riviera. I don't know if you're gonna say that, but
I was actually.
yeah, okay. So the Riviera, like it was huge too, and it was so clean,
Yeah.
so nice. The room was smaller, but the bathroom was the bigger part. So like honestly, they could have made the bathroom smaller and the room bigger, but I guess it was just intentional.
Yeah.
Like, hey, let's just give them a big bathroom. Everything was open and bright, and it was basically its own room. So I think the Riviera takes the bathroom. the bathroom.
You know, it was funny. I was trying to think about this one because I was like, I need to like look up pictures of like the room layouts and stuff. But immediately, whenever I was like best bathroom, the first bathroom that came to mind was the Riviera. Now, the funny thing though is that room that we had, I believe, is the smallest room that you can stay at on Disney property. Because we had like the little like corner like turret room, which I have to say was the cutest little thing. But paying for deluxe, I mean, I see how most people probably wouldn't like that. I thought it was really fun how they were able to make the space what it was, but the bathroom felt bigger than the actual living space itself. But this kind of goes in, someone had asked what the best shower was, and I feel like also Riviera. I think that was the only one that had the rainfall and the other one. So that was my first time I think using the rainfall thing. So I was like, this is so insane. But I know we mentioned many times is like, does it have the two shower heads? Like, does it have the two? Because to us, that's
very
like
big deciding factor.
deluxe.
Like,
If it has two, like that's insane. Get the park crust off. But like, I that so that was a big thing there. But I think like back to the bathrooms though, what like surprised me a lot with like Bay Lake Tower and like the Grand Floridian is like the bathrooms weren't updated necessarily. And like they just had like the weird like tubs and everything. So I think the Riviera one was more accessible to people.
Yeah.
But
I will
also,
say,
like,
because I know.
yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I know you've mentioned it before, like the bathtub idea, because like people do have kids and stuff. So
Right.
the Riviera didn't have a tub. So like if you were looking to bring the little tots, well, our room just didn't have it. I'm sure like I know they have like family suites or something like bigger rooms, so maybe those have tubs, but ours just had like a straight shower. So like if you wanted the tub option for yourself or for kids, like it wouldn't be the best resort to choose. But like I mean, I know like all the value resorts have the tub option too, like the Grand Floridian did. The Poly didn't, but like it really just depends. So like that's something you want, just like make sure the bathroom that you're getting has the tub option, which that we just didn't really care about the tub option. We just wanted the double shower head. So
Right. And that's why I'm saying, like, don't necessarily take our ranking like to what you should do. Like, you should pick what's based on like for your family and stuff, because like we don't have kids. We don't need a tub to throw the kids to get in.
we
Like,
are we are
so
some kids.
that doesn't really like that's not like a perk for us, like to have that. So I just like the walk-in shower. To me, like it's just like nice and like is easy. But so like I personally feel like a lot of the resorts that we stayed at, the bathrooms felt a little outdated or were just oddly laid out. Like the Polynesian was so weird.
And what's bad about that one was that was a renovated room at the Polynesian, so
Mhm.
like that's what the rooms are going to look like.
Which it was beautiful, it's just the layout didn't
Uh,
make sense.
it was just weird because like I think I mean we did a resort.
We did a room tour and I can link them below. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like the shower and the sink were in the same room, but you had a or like the same part, and then you had to walk through that to get to the toilet.
I feel like the shower and the toilet should have been switched maybe,
Like
but
I don't know.
it was a weird shape.
It, yeah, and now that I'm thinking about it, like Wilderness Lodge was like that too. Like the sink was right here, and then the toilet was to your right, and then the shower was to your left. So like that same idea of like what are
Yeah.
we doing? Like
I don't know why we're gonna be talking about this like the whole time, but I just
we
remembered
could go on about the bathrooms.
and Animal Kingdom Lodge, the
Mm.
really beautiful theming there, but like the bathroom, like the sink area had the two sinks, like that was pretty nice. But the bathroom itself, like the toilet was almost like in the shower. Like it was a very small shower. Um, but yeah, that was
Yeah,
just, I don't know, it's just the layouts are kind of interesting for all the resorts are so different.
yeah, yeah,
But
for
I
sure.
think I don't know why I wrote Saratoga next to shower, and I'm trying to remember. Oh, it was just because that was one of the few shower. Well, I guess a lot of the showers did get hot, but what resort was it that it didn't? And I was like,
Bay
no,
Lake.
Bay Lake Tap. Was it Bay Lake?
You were,
There was another
I
one.
think so. I remember being
No,
so
like that
hot. I
didn't
would
get
say,
hot.
oh, Polly, the Polynesian didn't get that hot,
Oh yeah, that's what it was. I was so
which is also
disappointed.
very interesting. Yeah, maybe it was just like, I guess, like renovation wise, like
The construction maybe messed it
maybe
up a little bit.
I don't know what they did. Like maybe they messed something up, or it's just like where our room was, but it just didn't get that hot. So I don't know what
That
the
dropped it
issue.
slightly for me there. I was like, the layout was weird and it didn't get hot, and that was sad. But that's that's enough of the bathroom shower analysis. That was something we talked about
Anyway,
big in the videos because
yes,
I mean, when you're staying somewhere, you want it to be nice. So
it's important, As I on a sign it says, "Home is where you poop most comfortably," So like you, so you need a nice bathroom.
not really.
Anyway. You can get that out
Anyway,
later, but anyway.
changing the subject here. We have now I'm gonna like combine these two here. Best perk or like best location in your opinion.
Yeah, I
Like,
did do a best perk for all of them.
oh my god.
Yeah,
Okay. I mean,
so I can go through it quickly if
wanna
you want me to.
if you'd like. I mean, I'd love to hear it.
Okay,
Here.
or I said contemporary, the monorail going through it, too cool for both adults and kids. And I these like the Magic Kingdom loop, I tried to steer away from saying that you were staying right next to Magic Kingdom, but I think that's an added bonus for it. Polynesian, the beach right there, and the Dole Whip options, so you don't have to go into Magic Kingdom or into a park to get the Dole Whip. The Grand Floridian to me were the views because you're looking at the monorail or the castle, basically. And just the classiness of it all. Fort Wilderness, it felt like you're actually out in the wild. The cabins, it felt like an Airbnb in a good way. Like you had your own little thing to yourself, and the golf cart. Boardwalk being right next to Epcot, and then like everything happening on the boardwalk because there's so much going on. Beach Club being right next to Beaches and Cream, which is a really good ice cream shop
Oh,
right there, and that Epcot is right there. The yacht club is the pool because they have the sand in the bottom of the pool. And it's right next to Epcot. Art of Animation, Lightning McQueen, period, point blank. That's literally what I put. For all um, for all the value resorts, I said definitely the rooms are the nicest things because like they're all updated. It's like you hear value and you think, oh, it's gonna be like some cheap room, but like they're all updated, like Pop Century, music, sports, movies, they're all updated. So it's super nice. And then for Pop Century, I also said the Skyliner is a huge perk. Coronado location, I feel like you're like in the middle of everything at Coronado. The Riviera, the simplicity, and the Epcot view. That's what I put.
What was
Caribbean, the size. Caribbean is huge. I didn't realize how big it was until I walked around it back in February, and it was very big.
that?
Uh, Dackle, good old Animal Kingdom watch. The Savannah view was very cool to have the animals right there. So if you have kids who like animals, it's definitely a good thing. Or if you just like animals. Old Key West, which you sadly didn't stay at, it was a very chill view, so that's my biggest perk. Saratoga was so peaceful, and I think we can agree with that. And then Bay Lake Tower being right next to the Contemporary. So
Wow.
thanks for coming to my TikTok.
No, I didn't. I mean, I'll second all of those perks for sure. That's why I didn't really write anything down because I was like, I mean, each resort has its own thing. It's either close to one park or another, or it has some cool transportation, or it has like unique features like the animals or being on the boardwalk or something. Like they all have their own special thing, and I think again that's what makes it Disney. I guess did I write any other like perks necessarily? Well, I guess going off location, I mean, I was very satisfied with the Magic Kingdom resorts. And not only because of the monorail, but just like all of them had such unique views. I mean, we didn't have a Magic Kingdom view for any of them, but like the views were just really fun. But even the ones like the Yacht Club, that was my first time I think staying over in that area where you could just walk over to Epcot. That was such like a cute little vibe. I mean, I think location is so important, especially I mean, if you're going for the like for the parks, then I mean that it's like time to consider like what time you have to leave and all that. But like I don't know, some of them like Animal Kingdom Lodge, it's like it feels so far away. Like that resort's kind of by itself.
Yeah.
But like if you are at the boardwalk or something, like you could walk over to another resort and eat at their place. Or so, like, if you're at Pop Century, you could walk over to like Art of Animation and eat there one night. Like the resorts you can kind of walk to or take the monorail to and like try out the other stuff different nights. Like I think that's kind of a neat perk is like you can experience other resorts even though you're only staying at one. And you can visit the other resorts if you're not near one. Like you can just go to Disney resorts. I don't think people realize that is you can just go. Like we would just go and like you want to tell the contemporary story.
Sure.
Right after work.
Which time?
Just to eat at the Contempo Cafe for no particular reason, just to get the chicken tenders, I guess. And I decided to get the soup because I was like, let me see. It was not good. It was not good. But like we just went and just talked and sat in the resort for like the evening.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that's when I thought Haley was never gonna talk to me again. So it was a really fun night. So.
No, we had so much fun, and I mean, I wish I would have went and just sat in the resorts more. So if you have like a day off and you want to like break from the parks, like just go look at the resorts because like you can go see Lightning McQueen at Art of Animation for free. I mean, you're gonna pay to park somewhere, but like, I mean, still, like you can just go to the resorts and check them out. So for your next trip, you can maybe help you decide where you want to go. I mean, no, I guess that leads me to one other really quick story is I was at Hollywood Studios with a friend whenever I went for my graduation trip, and we I think had an Oga's reservation or we were on a ride or something that we were like one of the last people in Hollywood Studios, and we were staying at I don't know if it was All-Star Music or Movies or one of those, and we walked out and there was a security guard sitting at the gate and he's like, well, which resort are you guys going to? And we told him, and he like used a little walkie-talkie and made sure there was a bus coming for us, that we weren't gonna like be left there. Like, so they don't leave anyone stranded. I even had some guests come up to me like at Magic Kingdom being like what time do the buses stop and blah blah blah. And they're open, they run an hour and a half after park closed. Yeah, so. An hour to hour and a half, but they won't leave you there. Like there were some people panicked. I'm like, they're not gonna leave you here. Like we have to, like everyone has to leave the park. Right. Like they're not just gonna leave you stranding here. So yeah, I think that's a big fear for a lot of people, but you don't have to worry. Like they're not gonna make sure, like, they're gonna make sure you get home safely.
Yeah, you're fine. You're
So
fine.
that's just a little side note there. But that this leads us to, we'll go to some negatives. How about some least favorite things overall?
Oh gosh,
Resorts.
overall, I don't know if I have any
Just
like
a kind of red flag for you, maybe.
red flag insistence. Yeah. I honestly didn't put any like negative things besides like my least favorite resort.
We'll
So
get to that.
if you want to take this one, and I'll just agree.
And I'm not trying to be negative over
No, like I don't. I mean, I generally like. I'm trying to think. You go,
I
and I'll
mean,
think.
things that have become like an oof to me a little later on is the location of the room.
Okay.
Because like, for example, you could be staying, how you said, like at Caribbean Beach. It's like super nice resort, fun theme, but your room could be like
18
on
miles.
the other side of the water over there, and the
Yeah.
main lobby and bus stops are up here. So it's like, again, I don't mind walking. I don't have an issue with that. It's more so thinking about like maybe grandma and grandpa are with you, and like walking isn't necessarily like their biggest
Right.
thing. And so it's just things to,
Yeah.
stuff like that could be kind of iffy. And then number of bus stops. Now this is like
This is where we disagree.
this is a slight issue. Now, I understand it drops you closer. For example, at Caribbean Beach, it will drop you closer to where you're actually staying at night, which is so great. But sometimes, like, you just want to get home. Like, you just want to
Oh
be
yeah.
in your bed, and it's like sitting at each stop. And I know this is such like a nitpicky thing. It sounds so bad, but it's just, sometimes it's just like, my feet hurt. I just want to go, and like you're just stopping like every 2 seconds, and it's like, ah.
Right.
Or like in the morning you're trying to rope drop, and you're stopping, and it's like, we're just trying to get to the park. Like, we're just trying to get to the park.
Right.
So some of the resorts, I mean, like, I don't know, Contemporary, for example, like there's one and only bus stop there. But like the bigger resorts have more stops, respectfully. But again, if you're planning to like rope drop, like all this stuff, like those little stops to me sometimes like affect my experience.
Yeah. No, see, and like I agree with that, but like I also like the all the bus stops in the sense of like you won't hopefully won't miss a bus, because you're not trying to rush to get to this one bus stop that's a mile and a half away from where your room is or something like that.
Right.
So I personally like the different bus stops. Like I get it, like sitting and waiting is a little tedious at sometimes, but like at least you have a couple options, and like the bus stop is hopefully closer to where you're staying, so you can get there and get on that bus schedule. So that's what I like it for. But I do get that.
And
Ooh,
like
tomato.
these little oofs aside, like I would still 100% stay. Like if I had the option to stay on property and there were those few more bus stops, hands down, I would do it.
Yeah.
Like it's not stopping me from doing anything. It's just sometimes like it's just a slight little like bump in the road in your day there. It's like, oh, what is that?
Dr.
That is Wait, show them your friend in the background.
I'm thinking I'm trying, my background's blurred.
Wait,
Hold
if
on.
you go all the way out of
Oh,
the
you're right. Hold on, friends.
oh,
Anyway, if anyone in the comments wants to drop who that is, you're my new best friend. Okay. And please help me convince Haley to watch Once Upon a Time. Okay. Anyway.
we're back from intermission.
On that note,
Little
intermission. On that note, okay.
Oh, do you want to show your cup of the day too?
Oh, sure. This is Sam Eagle, sponsored by
Regal Eagle Smokehouse.
Regal Smokehouse. I just said the Regal Eagle. That is not true. Anyway, I love this man.
And then I'm over here. I don't have a fancy cup. Not sponsored. Giant Smokehouse.
This is not sponsored at all, but I do love the Muppets.
Oh no, we should be sponsored by Regal Eagle Smokehouse.
They should sponsor us. Are you kidding me? This is free promotion right here. I don't even know if they still have these in Epcot, but if you're going to Epcot, please go see my boy Sam and get one. Anyway,
that was funny. All right, back to
Muppet Hotel.
Look at this transition, guys. Ready? Best dining at the resorts. If you have any 2 cents to add.
Okay, I said in all caps, I am not a foodie. Neither of us like food. Like we do like food, but we're very picky eaters. Haley also has an allergy, so that definitely affects like what she does and does not eat. But I will say my favorite restaurant that I ate at was Topolino's on top of the Riviera. I'm a big Italian girl. I love my Italian food, and that's what they had. I don't think Haley was that impressed. Um, but I loved it, and I loved being up there, the atmosphere, and I loved the intimate size of the quick service restaurant that the Riviera has as well. Don't get me wrong, I love my good like cafeteria style areas at all the value resorts, but I just like the smaller feel of it. Polly had some fun options. I know we tried the what was it, the banana
On the
bread,
toast, yeah.
banana toast or whatever. That was actually really good, even though I'm not a big banana fan. I also ate at Toledo's on top of Coronado, which was actually really good. I got like a hanger steak, and it was very good. But basically, all the resorts offer the same things at the quick service restaurants, like your basic food. I mean, they have like a couple variations. Like my mind went to the Port Orleans. Like I know they have like jambalaya and beignets and stuff like that, and like the Caribbean had some fun options too. But all of them basically have the same thing. So Topolino's was my favorite non-quick service option at any resort, but Whispering Canyon that we ate at Wilderness Lodge had a great environment too. So I have to give that a shout out. But yeah, that's my food 2 cents.
Those are all really good. So my 2 cents on Topolino, since you kind of were like throw me out there.
No.
No, oh, well, so again, I said like picky eater allergies. I going in out the menu, I was like, meh. I wanted to experience it because I hear great things about Topolino's, and turns out, I learned after that Topolino is Mickey in Italian, and I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
I think so. That's kind of really cool. I wish that they would like told us that there, but because I thought it was cute. But
So they also have breakfast there, I think, and they have like
yeah,
characters all around. Were you about to say that?
no, I feel like breakfast would have been really good there. Personally, I'm more of a breakfast person
Yeah,
anyway, so that
we
probably
did
would have.
eat dinner there, so I'm pretty sure they have characters. Anyway.
But the cast member was so set on making sure that I ate something, which at first I
Yeah.
was like, this is just giving me anxiety, but then it was so sweet that she was so concerned about making sure that there was something for me to have. So I was super like grateful for that experience. That just, I mean, it just reminds you of like what Disney is, and seeing the little magic things that like they do, just like the little things like that really impacted my day, that she was so like worried for me. Like she was so like, I want you to try like eat something, like that's not good. So shout out, I wish I knew what her name was, but she was super sweet, and I appreciate that. I did.
Yeah.
As far as dining, I mean, kind of the same thing that you were saying is the deluxe resorts have more options. They
Mhm.
often have some sort of sit down and a quick service. So
Mhm.
to me, it's like, oh, the deluxe ones were nice because you had those few options, or the deluxes are fairly close enough to another that you could hop on the monorail or just walk over and try something else. So like if I couldn't find something, it's like, oh, I could just walk over here and get something different, which was good. But I mean, they at least have two or more, the deluxe ones do. But I no hate to the value ones, but I mean it's just like your pizza, chicken tenders, whatever. So again, not a foodie person. Like it doesn't need to be quality, it just needs to be food to
Yeah.
me. But maybe that's just our like college kid level currently, that will change. But like that stuff doesn't really bother me too much. Like I eat the same chicken
Yeah.
tenders every time I go to Disney and Mickey waffles, and I'm the happiest person alive. So
All
the food
reliable.
doesn't really, yeah, food doesn't really, I don't change my picks in resorts necessarily, but we always, I think just about every trip, we always make a trip to another resort or to a resort to eat at their, whatever their option is, because I like to try the different places. But Whispering Canyon has been our family favorite. We've gone there for years, even though I've never stayed at Wilderness Lodge. We love that place. So the Disney resort dining options are really good compared to the parks, honestly. Like going
Yeah.
there in that kind of experience, like out of the parks, like to leave the park for a few minutes and go eat somewhere like that, it's a nice touch.
Yeah. It's nice.
Best pool, I
Mm.
think we only went to two.
Yeah, we went to Coronado and then uh
Dac-
Dackle. I actually went to the the pool at Port Orleans French Quarter
Mhm.
I didn't get in, but I went with my friend. So those are my 3 pool experiences.
Yeah, I mean, well, I guess, I mean, if we're counting all of them, I mean, I've done the pools at Caribbean Beach and French Quarter and Riverside. Like, I mean, with my family and stuff, we would do like the pool days, but more recently, I wish that's something we would have done is like looked at each of the pools more, but just time didn't allow for that.
Yeah, I also just don't really like love swimming, so it wasn't top priority for me to go
I
swim,
did
you
say
know?
all the pools are fun themed though. Like for
Yeah,
kids,
like
all of them are fun.
it's not like your basic standard pool. Like they're not. I mean, they do have those. I know, like definitely at Coronado, they had smaller pools. Yeah, like elsewhere, but they did have like a bigger main pool. And Haley and I really liked the slide. We did we did go down the slide. It was like the Jaguar slide or something like that. It was very cool. It's very cool. So I personally don't really have much to say about the pools, but
I mean, I guess for those who don't know, like Art of Animation, like their pool, they have speakers inside the pool, which is like fun little fact. The Yacht and Beach Club, like there's sand at the bottom of it, which is something I didn't get to try that. So whenever I say beach club, I get that off my list. I want to see that. The Riviera pool looked fun. We didn't get to do it, but French Quarter, I have some of the best memories doing that slide with my family and stuff. And yeah, so that's kind of my 2 cents with the pools there. And then last thing, tying it all back together here, best shopping at the
shopping, you
resorts.
know you like to shop. I want to give a huge shout out to all the value resorts because their merchandise is huge.
So
Like
I
they're
put
so extensive. It's actually insane. I think we can agree that Saratoga wasn't the best. It was very small. Yeah. I didn't personally like my favorite, least favorite ones. I mean, I think they all have every resort has a
a
shop,
store. Yeah.
like a store. The value resorts are like more extensive than the deluxe resorts. I know the Grand Floridian though has like a basin in it and other
Yeah.
stuff like that. So if you really want to feel bougie, like go there. But I did like the Polynesian a lot. The Polynesian did have a
They
big.
have
They do
two
have two, right? They have the Moana's Mercantile
basically. Yeah.
at
A
the
little
top,
mercantile at
whatever's at the bottom. I guess
gosh.
the contemporary. No, I guess the contemporary does have two too. Now that I think about
No,
it.
the contemporary ones are
Yeah, I didn't
the
think.
gifts and
Okay,
Fantasia.
you go. I'm gonna stop talking. You go.
No, 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 you're fine. I just get excited because I always have like my resorts that like I check for merchandise. I have
Yeah.
weird luck at Boardwalk, and Contemporary has like the three, I guess, because they have like the one that has like the food and like the magic bands in it, and then the one in the
Oh my
middle,
gosh, they do have
it's
three.
three.
I forgot.
So like
Where's the
four.
boardwalks merchandise? I'm blanking.
It's
Oh
like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
on the
yeah,
boardwalk like towards the end, but like it's just like a long store.
yeah.
So that's kind of interesting. But no, I actually wrote the same thing. The value resorts are bigger. They bigger stores in them. The deluxe ones I've had better luck pin trading at.
Mm,
But I mean to go pin trade at the resorts, like that's literally the best thing you can do.
first
Um,
off, yeah.
but no, yeah, I mean the deluxe hotels either have small stores or they have more than one, which is kind of weird. It's just based on like it's the market, like they're targeting the people that are staying there, so that makes sense. But I actually wrote like a little like in parentheses, the worst store is at Saratoga Springs. But I don't know if that's because it's across from Disney Springs. So like why wouldn't you just go to Disney Springs to buy stuff?
Yeah,
So that makes
yeah,
sense why it's so small if that is the reason. But that was probably the worst Disney little store I've ever seen.
yeah.
It's like the corner of
It's
their quick
so
service.
tiny.
It
Yeah,
was
it's
so strange.
yeah, it was really weird. Oh, I do have to give a shout out to the Value Resorts as well for their merchandise because they do have the Lightning McQueen popcorn. It's like cheddar popcorn,
Oh,
and you can only find it there. Haley unfortunately could not eat it because I think it had some nut thing in it. But I was all over that, and you can only get it at like the Value Resorts. Shout out to you! Shout out to you! I like intentionally went there after work one day just to get the popcorn. So
the Valley Resorts, I think they have more of like the souvenir type.
yeah,
It's like more
yeah.
of the like bring gifts home to people, take home things. Like they have more of like the souvenir type stuff. Where obviously the more deluxe things, like they'll have Basin and Vera Bradley and like Dooney and Burt, like they'll have like the more higher end stuff. Um, for again the people who are staying there most likely. now we're going to get into our quote unquote ranking. We're going to do least favorites and favorites out of each of the Disney tiers, which if you're unfamiliar, if you go to like the Walt Disney World website and click places to stay, then there's value resorts, which are the cheaper resorts, just flat out saying it. It's based on price. The value resorts are the lowest, moderates in the middle, and then deluxe, fancy, and then deluxe villas are mainly DVC resorts, which is Disney's like timeshare type thing you can buy into. So we are going to be ranking or sharing our least and favorites from each of the tiers, just to help us narrow down our options, because there are, I believe now, I know there were 28 last time I counted, but I might be wrong.
There's a lot.
That might be counting Swan and Dolphin and stuff, but I don't know. But
it depends on what you count, like for real. Like, do you count the Grand Floridian as one, or do you count it as two? Because they also have villas, so it's like
and like Bay Lake Tower and Contemporary. Like, is that? I mean, it's technically two because one's the DVC and one's not.
Right.
I don't know. So we're gonna start with value resorts, which includes Pop Century, All Star Music, movies and sports, and art of animation. So, Taylor, if you'd like to kick us off with your least favorite from
least favorite. Okay. I put this on my list. I said, let me say this. All of the value resorts are nice. I have no complaints about the value resorts. No, except I think art animation, all the rooms are not renovated, but they do have a lot of family suites. So that's nice if you're staying with a larger party. Like I stayed there with some friends back in December, and there were 6 of us staying in the room. So they do have those family style options for you. The one that I put at the bottom was All Star Music, and the only reason I did this was because I stayed in the country fair section, and I do not like country music that much, so I was not a fan of where I was staying. It's also lower than Pop Century and Art of Animation because the Skyliner is not connected to it. So I mean, and again, are the value resorts a little cheesy? I will say yes. Like that's why they're the value resorts. Like they're your least expensive option, but almost all the rooms have been renovated, so they're super duper nice. You're not wasting your money in the slightest. Our mindset as a family always growing up was we're gonna stay at the value resorts because when are we ever in the room? Because we're always out the parks and stuff. So yes, so that's my least favorite.
Yeah, I feel like no, that's the best mindset to have for the value resorts. And like, I mean, if you get to go to Disney, like, and it's the value resorts, like I love the value resorts. Like they're this certain era of Disney, like the 90s. Like, yeah, the outsides, like they're kind of like obnoxious and cheesy and whatever, like that's fun. But within the past like 2-3 years, they've been redoing all of the rooms, and they're so nice. They're so clean, and there's like Mickey and Friends, just like fun, like plain, just easy. Again, how much are you really in the room? And they have a bunch of pools and stuff. So like, absolutely no hate to the value resorts. I would go there in a second. Like, even though they're technically like the lowest on the chart of the money, it's not there. You are not missing out on like what a Disney resort is. So there's that 2 cents. And then also, I guess covering value as a whole, the buses. Now they run more buses because the value resorts are bigger than all of the other resorts because they're accommodating to more people. But waiting for a bus at night when the park closes, you'll be in a long line waiting for a bus to get back. So that's kind of your pros and cons of what you're taking when you stay at a value resort. Nothing wrong with the resort itself. Just know we'll be a little bit busier getting a bus, maybe getting food, just because they're bigger resorts. So that's the 2 cents there. But my least favorite, I put All Star Sports.
Okay. You're just a big sports girl.
Not because I hate sports. It's just I had to pick one. But the All Stars, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the All Stars. Just within the past like 2-3 years, I've stayed at music and movies. I haven't stayed at sports. They, I think, were the last to open after COVID, so I just haven't been there in a long time. Yeah. I honestly don't really remember sports, so I can't really say anything. But more so, I put the All Stars towards the lower end only because they don't have the Skyliner, like you said, compared to the other two. But no, absolutely no hate to the All Stars whatsoever. It's just that's it. Like there's nothing I don't like about them necessarily. It's just based compared to our other 2 options. So what you got from your favorite?
I also want to say this because we didn't say this. if you are debating on whether to stay on property or off property, I mean, I think we're both always going to advocate for staying on property, and every resort has a form of transportation to get you to and from the
Oh
parks.
yeah,
So if
yeah, oh
you're
yeah, sure.
flying, anything like that. No, yeah. So like if you're flying and like you're not driving, like you can get to a park via like the Disney transportation, and we love the Disney transportation. But Haley does make a good point. Like if you are staying in a Valley resort, you are probably going to be waiting longer at the end of a long park day. Like I know back in December when my friends came and we were staying in Art of Animation, we waited, like it took us an hour to get from Magic Kingdom back to our room, just based on the volume of people. But they do have multiple buses running, But like, I mean, they have the Skyliner, they have the like all the buses and everything like that. So like you can get to and from the parks regardless of where you're staying. It's just,
Like I said, they're
you
not
can
going
also
to
walk
leave.
there. Yeah.
They're not going to be like,
They're not going to strand you. Like you have a waiting there. Yeah.
it's free transportation from all these places. Just some of the places have more transportation options.
Yes.
Like Pop Century and Art of Animation, they have the Disney Skyliner and they have the Disney buses. So it's like
Right.
there's two ways to get places that kind of alleviate some of the waiting, I guess. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
good,
Yeah.
good.
Yes. Okay, my favorite value has to be Pop Century. And this may just be the nostalgia talking, but like we did stay there a lot when I was a kid. And like we've said multiple times, like the rooms are renovated, so they're super nice. Skyliner's right there. I like the lobby. I think the lobby is so cute because like you can go through the decades. And I like the quick service. I don't think anything is wrong with it either. The Hourglass Lake too is right there. Like I enjoyed walking around that. Like I like the water view. The waterfront view is very nice. Bang for your buck. But I also did really enjoy staying at Art Animation, probably because we were in the Cars rooms. But I just picked Pop over Art just because of that nostalgia factor there. But it does have one of the biggest pros of any Disney resort, and that is the Skyliner. So that's my favorite.
Yeah, and I do want to say too, we didn't share our list with each other before filming.
Did you put Pop too?
I also wrote down Pop. We're basically the same person. I'm just gonna put that out there. I also wrote down Pop Century mainly for the same reasons. But I mean, mainly just because it had that extra little Skyliner edition. The rooms were the same standard as the All Stars. Like there really wasn't anything different besides you just had another form of transportation you could use, and you could walk again to another resort and check that out. You just walk across the lake there.
Yeah, Art of Animation is like right there. Like
You can just go check it out and pay the Pop Century, right?
Pop Century. Yeah.
I do want to give the honorable mention to Art of Animation.
Yeah.
Just based on the theming, and the family suites are super nice. Although I do want to say I always am surprised that Art of Animation is in the value resort category. Only because the Little Mermaid section is the same room layout as all the other value resorts, but then the rest of the themes have the family suites. And I do have to say the family suites run upwards of like $500 a night. So that is like closer to the deluxe pricing.
Yeah.
So you're not really getting a
Yeah.
deal when you stay at Art of Animation.
Yeah, but you can put 6 people in there. And I mean, I guess if you really tried, you could put like 8 or something. I don't know. But like you're getting space, and there's 2 bathrooms in there and everything like that. So like it's nice. But I do get what you're saying. It basically is the same price. So it's like
Yeah, it makes sense why you're paying that much, especially if you have a bigger party with you and you need like if you're splitting up some costs and whatever, like then it's the value resort. It's a little nicer than the other ones. But I mean, pricing wise, like I'm not just like gonna go stay Art of Animation because the room's like $500.
Right. I do have to give you a shout out because when my friends came in December, it was one of their birthdays, and Haley did help me decorate our Art of Animation room for my birthday. So she killed me. It was great. It was great, and we saw Lightning McQueen, so it was a really good day.
Okay. When we will be seeing. Anyway, moving on.
Anyway. Oh my gosh.
I feel like we already know, just saying. Anyway, moving up the chain here to the moderate resorts, which, correct me if I'm wrong, include French Quarter, Riverside, Coronado, Caribbean Beach, and the Fort Wilderness Cabins.
Yes.
Am I missing? I thought I wrote them all down, but I think I may have just wrote down the ones that I've stayed at in each
That's
of them.
okay. So if we're missing
generally speaking, this is again based off of the current Walt Disney World website. I feel like some of these have moved around. I don't remember the cabins being considered moderate, but I was surprised to see them there. So good stuff. Taylor, what do you got?
Okay, my least favorite, and this might sound like am contradicting myself, but I need y'all to bear with me. My least favorite was Port Orleans Riverside. Okay. And I, because I said that Port Orleans French Quarter was my favorite um theming. But the reason I didn't like Port Orleans is that it felt too much like home in a bad way. Okay. And so like I have friends from here who like love going there, and like that's why they love going there, is because it does feel like home. But like if I'm going to vacation, like I want to get away from everything
That's
here.
fair.
So so this could be very biased, so I do apologize. But I did stay here twice. I stayed in the Royal Guest Room and I stayed in a regular room. I was not all that impressed with the Royal Guest Room. Haley and I did not stay here together at all,
No,
actually.
it's two different times. Yeah.
Yeah, but the Royal Guest Room, it was cute, but like the TV, when I tell you, it was like the size of my laptop. It was the size of my laptop.
Oh,
Like
wait, you sent me
very
the
tiny.
picture of it.
Yeah, like
That
it was
was
just it for because I was paying more for that room, so for it doing that, it was a little disappointing for me,
yeah.
in the sense like it wasn't as updated as it could have been. However, it did have the cool effect where like you pushed a button and there were like fireworks popping up on your bed.
That was a big
Um,
screen. Oh,
what's that called? What's your like your
headboard.
headboard?
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Anyway, so that was it. The regular room that I stayed at, it was updated, which was nice, and it actually had a fifth sleeper, and a very big TV. So like you could fit 5 people in there. So like that is a good thing, if you're looking for that, because it could pull out into a bed. However, like the theming was just bland to me. The idea is that you're like a shipping company along the Mississippi River, which just made the room feel kind of bland to me because it was like crates and boring
Yeah.
wallpaper or whatever. And I opened the window and I felt like I woke up in a bayou at home, and I was like, "What are we doing here?" But I did feel like I was in a bayou, so I will give them that. Like it generally felt like I was back home. But they do have the boat rides, which take you to Disney Springs, and French Quarter is right there. So yeah, so it just felt too much like home in a bad way, and it was just kind of bland to me. Like this is what I'm not coming to do. So that is my least favorite. So
Okay.
call me biased, but I think I gave good
No,
reasons.
no, it makes sense. It makes sense. I mean, yeah, when you're going on vacation, you want to go away from home. Like you want to leave. Like, yeah. So it's probably a little repetitive
Yeah.
there.
So
Um, so my least favorite for moderate. Now this kind of has like a memory attached to it, but I'm trying to separate it from the memory for this analysis. I put Caribbean Beach
wow. Okay.
as my least favorite moderate. So mainly because it's very spread out compared to the other ones, as we'd mentioned, and you do get the Skyliner, but since I stayed there, they rethemed it. I remember whenever I went there, I don't remember what year it was off the top of my head, but the lobby I remember being absolutely in love with. It looked like an outdoor like market. Like it almost looked like the Mexico pavilion inside of the lobby. So like each of like the little like quick service things and like the little store and stuff like you went in like a little like beach house like to go in the thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I had like just these fun memories of this place. Like it was like the little village inside the thing. And I went back there in August to that was the first time I tried like the Dreamsicle, like non-alcoholic drinks, and I really
Yeah.
liked them. So in August, I was like, I should go see if they still have those because that's the first place I tried it. It was good. Yeah, they rethemed it. They added like the Sebastian's restaurant and stuff. Like I guess the retheming makes sense, but it didn't look anything like how I remembered. So I was a little
Yeah.
disappointed by that.
Yeah.
But whenever we stayed that time, the pool I remember we had like fun pool day, and then it rained the rest of the trip, like pouring, and I was afraid of thunderstorms at the time. So it was just kind of a rough experience for everyone there. Just because it was just I forget, I think it rained like 11 inches the one like day, night,
Oh
whatever.
my gosh.
It was just
Oh my goodness.
it wasn't even a hurricane, it was just rain
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
24/7, and it was just a panic attack in itself. So
Yeah.
I mean, I do want to give it another chance, but it's you have like those memories and like you want it to be how it
Yeah.
was, and
Yeah.
it wasn't it.
Yeah, that's fair. I do have to give a shout out to Caribbean. It's not my favorite moderate, but it is the hub for the Skyliner. So like we talked about the Skyliner a lot in this video, because it's just so good. It's so convenient.
It's good.
But where it is on at Pop Century and Art of Animation, like that's the end of it. And it takes you to the Caribbean resort. So you can either go toward Hollywood Studios to Epcot or back to Art of Animation and Pop. So like the Caribbean is really good as that, like that's the hub of the Skyliner. So you can just hop on right to Hollywood Studios or right to Epcot from Caribbean. So I think that's a huge pro of the resort is that you don't have to.
You know, you have that hub, but at the same time, like the Skyliner station's in the back of the resort.
Right. And then there's that too. So it's like, nah, what are we doing? What are we doing here? Yeah.
Little,
Yeah.
and this is where I always like worry for like people who've never been to Disney World before and they're just trying to find their way around. It's like,
Right.
is that making things more complicated? Like, is this actually making sense? I don't know. I don't know. But I mean, it's the theming is really like it's fun to walk through there. It's just I
Yeah.
mean, I had to like pull up Google Maps to try to get to the Skyliner station after I went to go check out the lobby because I couldn't figure out how to get back where I was. So
My favorite model was Coronado. Yay! I loved Coronado. I stayed here twice during my program, once with Haley, and then my family ended up coming for a weekend and we stayed there too. I loved the theming. My only complaint was that I was able to stay in, they have like 3 different sections, and I was able to stay in the ranchos and the casitas, and they looked exactly the same. Like the rooms looked exactly the same. The outside of it didn't, but the inside did. So I wish they kind of changed up the inside a little bit to give you a little more incentive to want to stay elsewhere. But the whole resort was in one big circle. Love that. So because I felt like I could see everything and I was really just like immersed in it. The quick service is very cute and modern. They have good food options, but they also have like a sports grill, a Maya grill, and Toledo on top of.
yeah.
They have like a ton of dining options, a ton of stuff that you can do. Great view of the parks on top of the tower. Like they have the tower, which technically is separate from.
Yeah, the Grandestinos, like
Yeah, the Grand Destino. Sorry, the Grand Destino is technically separate from like Coronado Springs. Like they're
yeah.
two different booking options, but you can still go in there. That's actually where the main lobby is. And you can go to the top of it and you can like watch the fireworks, and it has like a great view of just
Mhm.
Disney as a whole. So I like that. Didn't love the sensors in the bathroom. That's also one of my complaints because like every time I walked past the bathroom,
Oh,
the
okay.
sensor would go off and it ticked me off. But they did have brand new TVs in there too. So I really loved Coronado, and it was I thought it was great for the price. It does have the bus stops everywhere, so Haley probably didn't like that part, but Coronado was just it for me, and it was good. So that's my favorite.
Let's stop now. So now, now, my favorite is Port Orleans French Quarter.
Yeah.
Now, my family and we've stayed there, I think twice, for sure twice, maybe 3, I think just twice though. So even though I've had great memories there, that aside, it was small, it was quiet, it had the 2 dining options. It was fun. I really enjoyed those trips, and it like they made like the towel animals and stuff for us every day. So like we were like doing like little messages and stuff with like the what's the like the like official name of like the people who come clean the
Oh gosh, isn't it just housekeeping?
just the housekeeping. Yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking of. But yeah, so like that we had like fun little like they were like giving us little things, little coins. And it was really fun. The boat to Springs, as you said. But I do want to give the honorable mention to Coronado. During the DCP, that was the first time I've ever stayed there. And if you are doing DCP, it's like literally 2 seconds down the street. So if you have anyone coming that wants to stay on property and they're doing the parks while you're at work, just tell them to stay at Coronado. Really surprised me. So I did stay there twice as well with Taylor and with my family. Just because it was so convenient, and it just really surprised me. It was again quiet, cute. You could do the tower. Yeah, like I honorable mention to them, and then of course the cabins is a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
That was kind of a hard
That should be its own separate category, just like the cabins.
the
It was
cabins.
just a time.
They're too good. So those are just my little honorable mentions. But moderate resorts is mainly where we would stay.
Yeah.
So I don't really have an issue with any of them. Because that's normally where we like lean towards, but
Yeah.
good stuff there. Yeah.
Good stuff there. Yeah. I did love French Quarter. Coronado just
Stood out. Just
you
hit.
know, Coronado just hit different, you know?
All right, so we're back with the like a little intermission. We have to have like a little sponsored ad come up. Well, the ad for Regal Eagle Smokehouse.
Anyway,
so what else would sponsor
Walt Disney World? The Rat. What do I have on my deck? Mardi Gras.
Sponsored by Mardi Gras. Good stuff.
Color.
I really don't. I have a 50th thing, but the 50th is over and people were telling me to stop. Hyping up the 50th. I was like, no, I love it.
No, the 50th.
Love it.
I got Tink on. Yeah.
I
Anyway.
miss her. Anyway, wrapping this up, I hope you all enjoyed listening to us chitty chat. We're wrapping up now with our deluxe little favorites and least. In the deluxe category, we have Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge, Disney's Polynesian Village Resort, Grand Floridian, Yacht Club, Contemporary. See, this is where I stopped writing the list. Is this also Beach Club?
Boardwalk, Grand Floridian.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking, because this is the same thing. Because then you have the boardwalk like villas, which are technically like the deluxe villa one. So this is kind of where it gets a little bit choppy. But like the rest of the resorts that are available that you would consider deluxe, generally speaking, before we rank like the DVC ones. Yes. Anyway, least. See, we start with the bad, we end with the good. So what's the least?
Yes. I feel like we had the same answer once again. Like, also, we did not share these lists with each other, but my least favorite deluxe was Dackle. Listen, all the deluxe resorts are super duper nice. However, like, I just personally, if you handed me $10 million and said, go have fun at a Disney deluxe resort, I would not go back to Dackle, you know? Navigating the resort was really confusing, and that's coming from someone who's been to Disney X amount of times. There's just a lot going on. Like, I honestly did not know where I was going, you know?
We drove to the wrong
Kanani
Village, which is like the DVC end.
Yeah. No idea. Even just getting to our room, it was really confusing. So like, I just didn't really know what was happening. I did enjoy the theming. I loved. We did have a savannah view, so we did really luck out with that. I was fully expecting a Lion King moment where as soon as the sun came up, all the animals were coming walking. That did not happen. So maybe that's just my wishful thinking.
They're not paid actors. That's good.
It also, like, it's super nice, but it just wasn't my favorite like looking resort either. Like, I didn't love how the room just felt darker. So I didn't love that. The quick service restaurant was also kind of cheesy in my opinion. It was Lion King themed, but in a bad way. Like, it looked like if I'm being honest, like a 5-year-old or like a 3-year-old kid's room or something like that. Like, that's the vibe I was getting. I know Haley didn't have the best experience. I'm sorry. I know Haley didn't have the best experience with their quick service just because there was a little mishap or something.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, for the price that you pay, I personally just don't think it's worth it to stay there.
Wow. Okay. Well, really funny. My least favorite was also Dackle, as we call it. And again, we're basing this off of experience. I think the theming is stunning. Such a cool concept. I'm sure kids love seeing the animals out the window. Like, that is so cool. No hate to that. It's just the experience we had. We got lost parking. Finding our room was a wild time, literally. So like, it is quite it's an extensive walk to your room because such a big resort, because it's spread out because of the animals. So I totally understand why. Yeah. But just when I'm paying for a deluxe, if I'm paying the deluxe money and still like hiking it as if I'm going to my value room, that's where you lose me just a little bit. But I'm not going over, like, I understand why it is the way that it is. Like, I'm not hating it for that, because they need to take care of the animals. We love the animals. We could also see Pandora from our window, which was kind of cool, our little balcony. So that was fun. Yeah, it was fun, cool, but I just don't think I would stay there again. Like, I hate to say
someone
that.
else was paying, I would go with them, but like, I personally was not.
Like, I wouldn't pick it again just because it seemed so much more confusing for what it was. Like, I mean, even just walking to the quick service, which was like downstairs and like in the thing, like, it was just a little bit confusing. It's a beautiful resort. It was too confusing for a deluxe.
Yeah, I will say, and I don't think this is not based off of negative feelings or like events surrounding it, because like the next day we woke up and we personally, one of my favorite days at the parks that we've ever had. So like, there is no like bad experience. Yeah, like, there was no like bad experience surrounding this resort. It just like generally just like overall didn't impress both of us, I'd say, just for what we were paying and what was happening. So
and it was more so just like the experience that we had at the resort. Like, again,
Yeah.
customers were great. Like, there weren't any, like, nothing, no one did anything to make us have a bad experience. It was just, we were just confused. It was just, it
Yeah.
shouldn't have been confusing, and it was, because even Taylor said we've been to Disney many, many times, and it just, I was just,
There's
what?
a lot,
I was just like,
a lot going on. Yeah. Yeah.
why is this the way that it is?
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
moving on to favorite, though, this one for me was a little bit hard, so I'm curious to
Yeah.
see what you thought.
I did most definitely put the Grand Floridian.
Right.
I love the Polynesian. I love the renovated room that we got when we stayed there. I did stay I was fortunate to stay enough at the Contemporary, but I was like younger when I did stay there, so I don't remember all of it. I remember bits and pieces. But the Grand Floridian just has a very, very, very special place in my heart. I just love it. I just love the theming. I just love everything about it. I love that it's right next to Magic Kingdom. I just love the classy feel of it. Like when I'm there, I feel like I have money. Let me tell you what I don't normally have, money. So it just makes me feel a lot cooler than I am. But there's also a lot of dining options there. We had our room had a view of the monorail, which is just so classy and fun to me. And like at the Grand Floridian, like they were working on renovations, and we even got an outdated room, but it was still nice, you know. Like it was still nice. They had robes in the room. I that just came to me. Like they gave us robes and slippers in the room. I really wanted to take the robe, but I didn't take it. But I just love the Grand Floridian, and I think it also stems from like so many times as a kid had I wanted to stay there.
Yeah,
Like I finally had an opportunity to stay there. So like it was just such a surreal experience for me. And then we did, you know, have some fun adventures before we actually like slept in the room or whatever. So
yeah.
that's my favorite. I absolutely love the Grand Floridian. Would 110% stay there again. I just
The
it's
grand,
so
the grand.
I'm curious to see what yours is.
Oh no, so this was honest. This was, to me, was very hard because, quick side note, I've always expressed my love of the Contemporary Resort. Now, I've never stayed at the Contemporary, like I've never stayed in the main building, so that is not, accounted for in this. These are just the ones I've stayed at. So that aside, um, I was took me. This was the one that probably took me the longest. I was between the Grand and the Poly. Now, you're kind of making me rethink my choice a little bit, but
Okay.
there were a few things about the Grand. Now, I'm curious to see the new rooms. I think that was the last Disney resort that I stayed in that had carpet. They were taking the carpet out of the rooms, which
Yeah.
honestly made it feel super classy. They had, like, the little cups. I remember
Yeah.
specifically, like
They did have the
gold,
cups.
the
Yeah.
gold door handle. Like
Yes.
the
Oh,
balcony wasn't like super private, but I loved our view to death.
it's just so pretty.
We had a really good time, and even though they were doing construction at the resort, still, like, you're so close to the lobby. It was really good time. So I mean, I'm kind of on the fence with that, but I did write Polynesian. I think because we got the new rooms, the rooms felt bigger. We didn't have like a great balcony view, but there was like a palm tree like coming into our door, which I thought was kind of fun. I just like that kind of like beachy vibe, and I don't know if I was just missing the beachy vibe. But yeah, the between that and the Grand, like, are super, super close. Like,
Yeah.
and even now, like today, I feel like, oh, I'd say the Grand, but yesterday I was saying the Poly. So
Yeah.
it's hard, but they were both, we had a good time with both of them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, aesthetically fantastic.
Yes. Yeah.
I did want to throw in a quick honorable mention though. I did write the Yacht Club just surprised me.
It
Not
did.
that I thought it was gonna be bad, but
Yeah.
like the room was nice. Not that I expected it to be bad again, but I was just like, while actually walking through that resort, I was like, this is kind of classy. Like I felt like I need to like
Yeah.
put on a little like button down shirt.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't. It was just, I just wanted to. I mean, not that that doesn't top the Poly or the Grand, but I was just like, the Yacht Club's like, wow,
Yeah. Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
dapper over there.
I will throw a shout out to the yacht. I love the smell of the yacht club. Like I don't know what they are putting out in the atmosphere at that resort, but it smells
The resort smells. Poly smells good.
good. All the resorts smell good. Like the resort doesn't smell bad, but it's just something. Okay, something about the yacht just smells good. But and I don't know what I was expecting from the yacht either, but it was very
Yeah, I was fine,
fresh,
like
and nice
eating my
looking.
grilled cheese on the floor. Like, it was good. It was
Oh my
good. I don't know if I really vlogged that. I think
God.
I did like a
God.
little like phone room tour in one of the like Epcot videos, I think.
That
I
night
don't
was insane. No, that was the night I got Iran, I think. So
So it was a good day.
it was a great day. It was a great day.
Anytime you can like be close to Guardians like that is a good day.
Yeah, yeah. No, true. Yeah. So
Every day I wake up and I'm like, I want to get a boarding group for Guardians.
right now.
If I could go ride any ride right now, I would just immediately Guardians, just right now.
Eat
Just
my
right.
fucking I know.
Then I think about it, then I get super sad and now like I can't do my work because I'm thinking about Guardians.
It's a real struggle, friends. Like it's so bad.
We could do a whole one of these episodes talking about
Guardians and the song.
honestly about Guardians.
It's like ranking our Guardian songs. If you want to see that.
If you
But
just want to see us
honestly, we might just do it
chat
anyway.
like this,
I
just
don't care.
put it in. We're gonna make it anyway. Yeah,
I'm just gonna do it
it's
anyway.
funny. But we're slowly approaching our little announcement. But I wanna wrap up these last little things before we can chat about that for a second.
Yeah.
So Deluxe Villas, at least for me, included Bay Lake, Saratoga, and Riviera. And again, I think I realized that these are all just the DVC ends of the resort. So this is kind of covering up your last bit of Deluxe
And Old Key West too.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's not all of them for sure.
Yeah.
But those are just for me, those are kind of what I'm basing off there.
Yes.
So
Okay. You're gonna kill me, and I feel so bad saying this because I know this is the one that you really wanted to stay at, but my least favorite was Bay Lake Tower. I actually have a lot of notes for this one, so I'm just gonna read them as I put them. I appreciated how close it was to Magic Kingdom, but dot dot dot. The room felt like any old room, any old hotel room. That I could find anywhere in the United States of America, and that's just my honest opinion of it. It felt basic to. I know it like for what you were paying, it just felt like any old hotel room to me. And I hated
it
that.
wasn't Disney themed. Like it was just.
Yeah. I mean, we did like space. What do we call them? Zoom Mickey or
Oh, the
whatever.
Zoom Mickey, I live for that.
Zoom Mickey. But other than that, the spotlight on the toilet had me screaming. Like I don't know what their goal was with that. The sink area was super tiny, so I didn't like that. The building itself isn't very Disney-like because the main lobby is like 2 feet, you know. Therefore, I didn't get the vibe of a Disney community happening. Rather, it was just like everyone was there doing their own secret little things, which I guess is good for some people. That's what I put. So like, it just didn't feel like a nice little camaraderie thing going on, like at the Poly and the Grand and every other resort. Like you have like these people who are here to go to Disney, whatever. But this just felt like I'm gonna go do my own little thing. I'm on a secret, like super duper secret CIA mission, and this is my.
That's what some of the DVCs are like though, because
But like,
weeks.
I didn't get that vibe at Saratoga or Old Key West. Like it was open and everyone like you could see people, but like this it just felt like nah, and it just wasn't my vibe. So if you're there and you don't want to talk to anyone, definitely go stay at Bailey Tower. I did put this. I said it was super duper cold that day, and I don't handle the cold very well. I got there late from work and then had to leave for work the next day, so I think that also like negatively affected my experience as well. Because I was tired from work, and then I remember like I like out as soon as
that was Christmas Eve into Christmas Day.
It was. No, it was into Christmas Eve, wasn't it? Like it was the 23rd and the 24th.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
So like I just know like I left work and I was exhausted and then I woke up and went right back to work. So I also didn't really get to enjoy it, I feel like, because I think did you go to Magic Kingdom beforehand?
I was trying to, but we were blocked out because it was
right.
So I didn't go to any park. I sat at the resort like the whole afternoon.
I love that for you. Like, but I didn't get that. And I'm not saying like woe is me or anything, or like please feel sorry for me. And I love that you got to do that. I just wasn't able to enjoy it as much as you did. So I think that also had a big effect on it too. Just that I wasn't able to do those things and really appreciate it. So because I got there like as soon as the fireworks were starting in Magic Kingdom anyway. So like I got there at night, so I just didn't get the whole shebang.
You're gonna see during the day and all that.
Yeah. So that is my 2 cents. I feel so bad. Or like you really wanted to stay there, so.
Well, funny enough, for my least favorite, I also.
No way! Are you serious?
No. Okay, so I did write Saratoga / Bay Lake Tower. Now, as Taylor knows, she said it. I love the contemporary Bay Lake Tower. Like I live for the resort.
I'm shocked right now.
I didn't know. I'm gonna read my little notes here of what I was thinking during this. I didn't hate either of them. They're unique for their own locations because Saratoga, you walk to Springs, Bay Lake, you got Magic Kingdom like 2 steps away, a hop, skip, and a jump away. And yeah, so like they're unique in that way. Saratoga, I think I wrote that because it was so secluded that like if you like to golf, or if you just are there, like if you're not necessarily there for the parks, I respect that fully as a DVC resort. You know, you got kind of like older couple family like going there and just like enjoying like the 2 weeks or whatever. Like you do the golfing, the dining at Springs, you do a park day or two. Like that is beautiful, perfect for them. Like perfect for them. Me, I'm like go go go, so that was a little quiet, but I didn't hate it. Now Bay Lake was outdated. I was not impressed by the room whatsoever. I don't know if you're a DVC how you would stay there for like 2 weeks. It did have the kitchen, but like the room itself was pretty small. Now that balcony was super like private, which I liked a lot. Our view, I die for that view. I thought it was great, but it was the room itself that disappointed me, like the quality of the room. That also had carpet in it, now that I think about it.
Yeah, no. Oh, it did. Yeah, it did.
I know they're updating the main building room, so I'm curious if they also update Bay Lake a little bit. I would have been curious if we were in a bigger room. I also thought the room that we booked had the 2 beds in it, so I think that also would have made it a little bit bigger, but it was like the pull-out couch in the bed, so we just ended up with a small room. So I don't know if that was just, again, just us.
Yeah.
But I mean, just something was a little bit off. I mean, I loved that day. It was, I mean, I had a good time at the resort and stuff, but the room itself, again, compared to Deluxe's, I was like,
yeah,
why does it feel just a little crummy?
Yeah.
And the spotlight on the toilet, it felt like I was in an airplane in the bathroom. That was
so funny. I hate that you didn't like Saratoga because I love Saratoga.
No, and I didn't hate it either, but I came right after work after my fireworks shift, and
see, yes, and then I had the day off.
Yeah.
So I got there earlier and I was able to like walk around and enjoy it some more.
We had the balcony there too, huh?
We did, yeah. So like, and I think that like also like that was a huge factor of these resort stays is like, because like we did the way we booked them, like one of us had work because like our schedules just never really lined up. Like, one of us was coming from work and one of us was off, and like it just like flipped back and forth for some of the resorts, and it's just the way the cookie crumbled, you know. Right. So I do think like that. I think more so on these deluxe villas was what was a deciding factor for us, like if we really got to enjoy it or anything like that. So yeah.
All right, favorite deluxe villa. I think we probably wrote the same thing.
Probably the Riviera. Okay. I love the Riviera so much. Being next to Skyline was a huge part. The view of Epcot from, I don't know how we lucked out with that room. I like genuinely don't know. Like literally to our left, like if you're like looking at the TV in our room, like to our left, you could kind of see the Skyliner coming in, and then like our balcony. Or Tower, you're right, yeah, or Tower Terror. And then our balcony, like literally, I was staring at the Epcot balls. Like we watched Harmonious from our balcony. It was absolutely spectacular. I know Haley like was doodling out on the balcony. If I was artistic like that, I would definitely be out there just like doodling and stuff like that. Balcony was cute. Room was super duper nice. It was small. Like if I had the money, I would stay in there by myself, like going to Disney. Like it was like perfect size for like a one person thing.
It's like for like a couple, like
yeah. The resort it's like big, but it's all like you can navigate it easily, except for one building. You go the back way, but anyway, it truly gives off. It truly gives off that like Italian European vibe. Love, like I said, as I talked about earlier, love Topolino's. Like I would just go there and do homework or something, or I would just go there and like sip coffee or something, anything like that. And to me, it's just like a very like visually appealing resort. So, love the Riviera. So that's me.
Everything you said and more. No, Riviera I also put. Location Skyliner. I did write tiny room, but I like the idea of like the like the tiny houses and stuff. Like I think they're the cutest thing, which makes no sense with my collection, but I would love to have the little tiny house. So cute. So I thought that was just super unique. Like the windows like as big as the wall, and the like our little balcony. Well, it felt like you were gonna fall off of it. We didn't pay any more for that view. Like, and I do have to say, for all these places, like we lucked out with the monorail view, the view of the Contemporary, and like the view of Space Berth. Like we did not pay any extra for those rooms. We just lucked out that was the room that we got. So that's Disney magic right there. but yeah, no, just I mean that view, the aesthetics. We did Topolino's, like we made like a whole day of that. And I've visited Riviera many times just to go check the store and just to eat at their quick service. I've had no issues with their fancy little quick service and sitting out in their lawn and you just watch the Skyliner all day. Like it's super just aesthetic to just sit there, even if you're not staying there. And then we give our little stars to their bathroom and stuff. And like, and maybe just because it's a newer resort, I don't know, but just the aesthetics. I mean, we felt fancy that day. And I guess adding on the little Topolino story, we were trying to go. We watched Harmonious, and our reservation was at like the same time as Harmonious like ended. So we ran to to Topolino's, but the funny thing is we couldn't figure out how to get there. We knew it was on the top floor. We couldn't figure out how to get there. Next thing we know, we're walking up the stairs. Because the elevator didn't have like say where, sometimes like lists where it is. Next thing we know, we're walking up a set of stairs and we open the door and we are in like the middle back of the restaurant. We did not go in. I don't know what the entrance to Topolino's looks like. We just walked in the back door. It wasn't like backstage, nothing like, I mean, it was open to guests. Like, it's not like we broke in. We didn't do anything different. We walked down like our hallway and just went up stairs, like just guest stairs. Like they were themed and everything. And next thing we know, we're in like not the back of the restaurant, but like we walked in the middle of the dining room. Like
we did.
When we were like, hello, and they were like, oh, just we'll go check you in. I'm like, what the heck is going on? So I don't know if that happens often, but the signage for Topolino's was confusing. But that's our funny stories. We walked up the back of Topolino's. I don't know how we did that.
You know what? But it got done. We got her done.
We didn't break any rules. We're fine.
Yeah.
No one said anything. We just kind of showed up.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So
we had a reservation. That's good.
We did. Yeah. We did everything right.
Yeah. It just didn't find our way.
Yeah.
Swimming.
Yeah.
Well, now we've made it to the quote unquote least favorite and favorite overall.
You're gonna have to go first because I like generally don't have any two written down because I still don't know.
So I also do not have any too specific written down. I know we talked about this at the beginning of the video. There's no worst resort to stay at. There's no best resort to stay at because it's based on you, your family, your needs, your whatever. Like why are you going to Disney in the first place determines what resort you stay at, in my opinion. But I do want to, for the favorites, I do want to say a few things. Port Orleans resorts have always been my family's favorites. Just based on like our memories and whatnot. So I just want to give, these are honorable mentions basically. Memory wise, my favorite from the college program was the campground. Although we did have a jolly good time at, I mean, all the like the monorail loop. We had like significant like fun things happen at each of those. Like the Grand, we did like the boat with Nate and Sean. Apolly, we did like the stuff on the beach, and we were at the new room. We tried the new toast stuff. And then it was Christmas, so that was kind of cool. And then aesthetic wise, even though it's outdated, contemporary always has a special place for me just because I like the look of the main building. The monorail goes through it. How they built it was super interesting. But yeah, like those are just a few things to note. I mean, least favorite, if I do have to say again, I kind of mentioned this. I personally wouldn't stay at Animal Kingdom Lodge again. If the opportunity came up, I would. But it's not one that I'm personally going to select just based on now what I know after staying there once.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. I concur with all of that. I guess I would say my least favorite overall would be Dackle as well. Just based on all the reasons that we listed earlier. Again, love it. And if you personally or you have kids who really like animals, it's a perfect resort.
Like go there. Yeah, do it.
I mean, you don't have to stay there. Like you can go there. Like they have like places you can walk out at the back of the
they have like the trails and stuff.
Yeah, like you can go see the animals. So like you can have that experience too.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I would have to say my favorite, I mean, it's honestly a tie. Again, no bad resorts, but it's honestly a tie. Like if I was not paying, my tie would be between the Riviera and the Grand Floridian. Probably more so the Grand Floridian, but I do really love the Riviera. Again, and I think it's just that idea of like I've always wanted to say the Grand Floridian. It's just like idealized and idolized resort in my mind. Like that's just like the Grand Floridian is just it. Like you think of Walt Disney World, you think of like bougie vacation. It's the Grand Floridian.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here for. So that probably just has to be my favorite overall. I just love everything about the resorts. Hopefully I'll get to stay in like the renovated rooms one day and the
Yeah.
modern rooms. But again, no bad resorts. Everything offers something, but the Grand Floridian does have a very special place in my heart. So
Yeah, you kind of touched on a question that you had added to our list was, in quotes, where would we stay at again if someone else was paying?
if someone
No,
else is paying, yeah, Grand Floridian or Riviera. But
no, and if it was something like, okay, here's X amount of money to go do Disney World.
yeah,
In a way, it's like I'd almost pick the more moderate to value so I could have more days with that money. But if I was like, we're just gonna go chillax, then I'd have less days and stay at one of the deluxe. So it depends so much on why you're going
right.
that you would pick the resorts that you do. I mean, obviously, like I put Poly Grand Riviera, like any of those, just because they're out of my price range.
Yeah.
So if someone else was like, let's go, I mean,
Yeah.
obviously you would say, let's experience it again because
Yeah.
you know you're able to. But I would no doubt, I mean, if I could go to Disney World tomorrow, I would have no issue staying at any of these places. I mean, the Valley Resorts with the Disney cartoons on, best thing ever. Like it's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I really did like the poly too. I love Polynesian culture. Like when I was able to go to Hawaii, so I like love all of that so much, and they do a really good job with that there. So like I did love being immersed in that too. But man, I will say if you are interested in doing the Disney College program, like and you do it, like staying at the resorts during your program is like the perfect time to do it because like there is absolutely no way that I would have stayed at all these resorts on my own, but like the discounts are just so good that you're able to get these resorts for a lot less money than you normally would pay for,
Yeah,
and
we would like split the cost too. Like you get
having
some
your
friends
friends.
to go and it's do a staycation if you can fit it in. Yeah.
It's so fun. Any resort that you've like been really wanting to do. So yeah.
I mean, so because sometimes like working it a lot, so that was like our little way to be like, we're at Disney, like you know, this is, and it also too like from a guest perspective, like you know, I was able to understand maybe, you know, little like issues maybe we were having at our hotels and stuff. It's like you appreciate too like, you know, some of the guests coming from those things, like as well, you know,
I was
like
also like just talking to guests, like if they use their magic band, I'd be like, "Oh, where are you staying?" And they'd be like, "The Contemporary." I'd be like, "Oh my gosh, yeah, I stayed there a while ago," or like if they were staying at Old Key West or something. Like I'd be like, "Oh yeah, me and my friend are staying there this weekend. Like we're super excited." Like it was just a good talking point too with guests for me of like I was able to like connect with them on a more personal level because like I had stayed at that resort recently or I was going to stay there recently and I was like, what do you like to do there? You know, so like that was cool too to have those conversations and stuff for me.
I always, anytime I'd see Magic Band, I'd always be like, "Oh, where are you staying at?"
Yeah,
And
it's
I mean,
just
it
so
was
fun.
so fun because you'd see them light up of like, "Oh, like
Yeah,
this one time they're like, we're at the Grand," and I was like, "No way! Like that's just right
yeah,
there." I was like, "That's
yeah,
so cool!" Like
yeah.
everyone just gets so excited because I mean, it is. I mean, if you go to Disney frequently, like it's like the cult, like it's the atmosphere, like it's the like you know you're at the resorts and I mean it's you're in a different world, but like that stuff, it's like wow, like you know the theming and the you appreciate it so much, so much, and I know Taylor probably wants to say our little surprise now because
Wait, what?
you want to say our little. I just dropped stuff. You want to say our little.
Me?
Yeah,
Oh, why me?
because
Okay. Okay, we are going to
like,
Disneyland. Yay! We are so excited. We've already conquered Walt Disney World, so we said why
that's
not conquer Disneyland together? So we are
right.
super duper 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 excited. We're thrilled. We're gonna be there for a good bit too. So we're gonna get to experience all that Disneyland has to offer.
Yeah.
Um, I'm like so excited. We've both been before. We've just never been with each other.
We
Um,
both had like our one trip there.
yeah, like
This
because
will
you've
be
been
both of our
one.
second times there. Yeah.
Yeah. So and my like when I went, it was kind of a rushed weekend. So I'm excited to actually slow down and enjoy more so of it. So we're super duper excited to be going. I cannot wait.
This
So
summer, Disneyland,
get Walt Disney
Taylor
World.
takeover, all that good stuff. No, I'm so excited because we haven't seen each other since the college program. We just keep
Yeah,
doing
like
stuff like
literally.
this. So
Yeah.
hopefully you all like liked watching this because I know the videos were so much fun to do with you. And I was like,
Yeah.
now I actually have someone to like experience these things with and we can like talk about it, like review it. Cause you get the different perspective, and I mean, it's fun to, it's
Yeah.
just fun.
No,
It's
I'm
just,
so
being
excited.
with
Yeah.
friends is so fun.
Yeah. I was just kidding earlier. Haley and I like still talk and stuff, which is great. But like we literally haven't seen each other in person since January. So
Yeah.
um I miss all of our Disney adventures. So we said, you know what, we're gonna plan our own Disney adventure
Enjoy.
coming soon. Coming soon to a theater near you. Just kidding. But we
We
are very
won't have
excited.
work this time to plan
Yeah, we
away
don't have work.
stuff.
We are
Like,
on
go enjoy the parks.
straight vacation mode. It's gonna be sensational. I was so excited. So yeah.
So
What was
the
the last
whole
time you were in Disneyland?
I went into there's videos on this channel. Maybe don't go watch them. They're very cringy. They're from like 2018. I went for the opening of Pixar Pier.
Yeah.
So I still have yet to see Avengers Campus, Runaway Railway over there, Galaxy's Edge over there. I also haven't seen. I know it's basically the same, but just to see it fit, I'm very excited for. And there's a lot going on over there. I mean, the parades, the nighttime shows, the 100th anniversary.
Fantastic. No, that too. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much
Yeah.
that we are both very excited for. So there's gonna be many videos talking about Disneyland, kind of us planning, and also just going. And just
Yeah.
you're gonna see us have the best time.
Yeah, I had my last trip, or the only time I went was in 2021. So I was able to see Galaxy's Edge and Avengers Campus, but I haven't done Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railroad, Railway. Anyway, so I'm super excited. But yeah, if y'all have been to Disneyland before, please give us some tips and tricks, what we
Yeah.
should or should not do.
What should we eat?
We're kind of struggling with where we should eat. I mean, we're probably just gonna eat chicken the whole time, but if you have any other recommendations for us, we'd love to know. We get to see our boy Lightning McQueen. I'm so excited.
Cars Land is literally what, when we were on the college program, we're waiting in line, we're talking about stuff. We somehow end up talking about Cars Land and about how we both we should go to Disneyland together. So now that it's actually happening is so exciting.
We're so excited to see our boy Lightning McQueen and ride racers. We're so excited. So I can't believe like we actually booked it. Like I feel like we've been talking about this for so long that it's weird that like we're finally actually doing it.
So the videos are probably gonna be very funny of us just like so excited to Disneyland, just like screaming and
literally.
yeah, it's gonna be so funny. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah, if y'all have any tips or tricks, let us know.
Please share and please let us know if you want us to do this again. We had fun filming it. At least I did have fun just chatting about this kind of stuff. Like,
no, it's so fun. Yeah, love to do it again. Thanks for having me, Haley. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for coming on and taking the time out of your day to talk to me. And
me and Sam have a lot of good things to do.
Sam enjoyed his time.
No, but like, let us know what you think about the resorts too, because I'm curious to hear what y'all think. If y'all agree or disagree with us, or you just want to chat, because I'm curious. It's fun to hear everyone's different opinions and what they think about things,
Yeah. And it's funny how a lot of ours like lined up also.
No, it really was. I'm still
did not plan that. Like we did not talk about this.
The only thing we shared with each other were the questions that we would share. So we did not pre-chat about what our selections would be. So I'm very surprised that Bay Lake was so low for you, but
well, again, I don't hate it. I would love to stay there again. It's just, I mean, you start comparing all these and I mean, the pros and cons start to really, and I feel like there's still so many things I didn't consider. Like if I would have ranked these based on like design, I think my list would be way different than what it is.
Yeah.
It's just, there's so many things ways that you could rank these. So, well,
so
we did it.
Look at us. Who would have thought? I think it's good because we've both been removed from it for so long that we were able to like actually assess it,
that's why I waited so long. So I was like, I need to think about it.
Yeah, to kind of let it marinate and be like, okay, here are my actual thoughts about everything. So, yeah.
All right. Well, to not have this go on for another hour, as much as I would love it to. Thank you all so much for tuning in, for listening, for watching. Much, much appreciated. Thank you so much again to Taylor. Oh, so much fun. Would you like to say our little outro? Do you remember?
Wait, I got it. Yeah. Thank you, friends. Remember to do what you love and do what makes you happy. We'll see you real soon.